And it was just bare bones for me. I was driving an old 75 Ford pickup. It was a gas guzzler. It took all my money to get to work and back. But one week I went to church and I heard this amazing, inspiring message on giving. And he was talking about faith and talking about miracles. And I literally had $20 left until my next paycheck on Friday. And I knew I needed that money for gas in my truck. But I felt so inspired by faith, I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna put my very last $20 in the offering because I know God's gonna do a miracle for me. He can do a miracle. He can keep gas in my gas tank longer than what I know is possible. So I did. I took this bold step of faith and put my very last $20 in the offering. And the rest of the week, I'm just praying like crazy. As I'm driving to work, I'm watching the gas gauge go down, 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 further and further. And it's getting closer to Friday when I'm going to get my paycheck. And then Friday finally came, and you guys wouldn't believe what happened. I ran out of gas. Yes, I did. I ran out of gas. I did not get the miracle I was expecting or hoping or praying for. Right in the teller line for the bank, right when they were sending my money, my truck, chug chug, was dead. So I said to the teller, I'm sorry, I ran out of gas. You might want to tell those 4 cars behind me that this lane is closed. And it was really embarrassing to get out and walk away, and I'm sure the car behind me was like, wait, where are you going? I'm next in line, I can't get out. So I had to sit on the lawn in front of the bank and wait for my roommate to come pick me up, and then we were able to put gas in the truck. And so I was confused, like, God, I thought you were gonna do this miracle for me. But you know, that was really silly expectation on my part. It was like a farmer planting corn and then going out the very next day and saying, I'm hungry, where's my corn? And we know that we can't expect a harvest immediately, but when we sow a seed, God's word says that there will be a harvest. And that seed will bear fruit. And I did get my miracle, and my miracle came 3 years later when I was driving another old beater car. I was a campus pastor. I really wasn't much better off at that point. Just been eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for 5 years straight because that's all I could afford. But just faith, you know, continuing to be faithful, my tithes, my offerings, trusting God who has given me enough to get through. And then one day, my car chugged to a halt. And this time it wasn't because I ran out of gas. This time it was because it needed a new transmission. And when I had it towed in, they said, it's totaled. It's gonna cost more on repairs than it will, you know, than the car is worth. Well, I didn't have any extra money at all. I had none. But God provided a miracle for me, and just 2 weeks later, someone drove into my driveway, handed me keys to a brand new Honda, and got on the airplane and flew away. And so the little backstory on what had happened was one of my financial supporters. So as a Chi Alpha pastor, I'm a missionary, so I live on support. People send in money so that I can be a missionary to the university campus. So one of my supporters who lived in California, I was in Montana, had been in a car accident and had totaled their car, and they needed a new vehicle. But they only needed a vehicle for 4 or 5 months because they had already accepted a job, or they knew they were going to New York City. They were going to live and work there and ride the subways. So the supporter was like, what am I going to do with a car? I don't want to buy a car for 4 or 5 months. And then God put in their heart, me, my name. And so I had gotten a call a few months earlier, just out of the blue, and someone said on one afternoon, hey Jenny, what's your dream car? And I said, a Honda. And they said, okay, what color? I said, any color. And so that's exactly what I got. So this supporter went to the car dealership and said, I want to buy a Honda. Bought me the exact car that I asked for, and right after my own car died, which happened to be 4 months later, I got this brand new car, which I had for years. So God is faithful, you guys. And the seed I sowed, I was praying for a tank of gas, and God gave me a new car.